Hello there everyone, welcome back to James Redmond TV and welcome to another Redmond Roundup, the show where we talk about all the latest LFC and football related topics. On this very show, people, if you enjoyed the video, and only if you enjoyed the video, then smash a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you very much for all the support that you've been showing on this channel, and without further ado, let's get into today's Redmond Roundup. And also people, before we carry on with the news, I just want to let you know, if you want to go and watch my Manchester United preview that is now out on the channel, it was posted yesterday. If you want to go and see my lineup prediction and score prediction, then go and check that out. But anyway, the first thing I would love to talk about is Virgil van Dijk. Now, obviously, all season he's been out of the blimmin' team, so we know that that's been a big impact. But the one question that's been looming over our heads as it became sort of more evident that he's not going to be involved with the first team. And listen, you know, Liverpool, they were dropping little PR videos and stuff like that to make it seem like that Virgil van Dijk, like, hey, look, you know, now he's running and, like, you know, now he's lifting weights and stuff like that. And it was great to see that, you know, obviously Virgil van Dijk was doing okay, but we're still yet to see, are we going to get the same Virgil van Dijk? Now, that weren't the question. I'm pretty sure, and I'm sure a lot of yous are confident that we're going to get the same Virgil van Dijk, if not someone who's more hungry. That being said, the one thing that we have questioned is by the time he comes back, because, you know, there's been all this talk, well, he's going to be back for the end of the season, might even be able to play a game. Now that's not the case. Now we're talking about whether or not, is he going to make the Euros? Is he going to miss the season with Liverpool but then go on the plane and play for Holland? That's the one thing that we all wanted to know. And now that question has been answered, and the answer from Virgil van Dijk himself is a big resounding no, mate. It's a big, listen, I get it as well. Like, obviously, you want to represent your country. You want to help them do well. He's like 29 to 30 years of age as well. So he's at that time where the next time he's going to play at a next major tournament, well, it's the World Cup next year, isn't it? But like the next Euros, for example, that's another 2 years away. He's not getting any younger. And at the end of the day, when you're that age, you're the captain of your country, you want to make an impact, man. And you know, Virgil van Dijk, he's a winner. You know, he's someone who wants to win. He wins, no matter what, motherfuckers. And that doesn't change, no matter what jersey he wears. As if I've just called it jersey. If you want to dislike the video for the fact I've just called it jersey, then by all means, I have just been speaking to an American who has just been splitting down jerseys for the past 10 minutes. But I understand if you need to dislike the video. I mean, please don't. But if you have to, I understand. Fucking hell, James, that's a slap on the wrist from myself. Just calling it a fucking jersey. What a muppet. Anyway, Virgil, I'm made up about that. The news overall, besides my own clusterfucks, that's a great piece of news to hear that Virgil van Dijk won't be going the Euros. The worst thing that we would have wanted, as a, you know, collectively as a fan base, was literally Virgil van Dijk getting injured and dropping down in the Euros, God forbid, because if he gets another injury, then at the end of the day, we're going to go out and need to get a new centre-back, a new world-class centre-back. And it's not because I wouldn't want Virgil van Dijk to start, but at the end of the day, we bought Virgil van Dijk to cover that position of the best centre-back in the world. I mean, we never bought him for that reason. We bought him because we needed a world-class centre-back, and that's what he brought. If he now drops like a fly again, then we're going to need to contemplate on replacing that. Because we've got Joe Matip, someone who I actually think is also a world-class centre-back, but doesn't get to show it based on the amount of game time he actually gets for the team. So let me know in the comments down below, people, do you think this is a good decision from Virgil van Dijk? Obviously, for us Liverpool fans, it's the best decision, because we know that hopefully, barring any injuries in training and whatnot, he's going to go into next season 100% fit. But for those who look at it from a perspective for Virgil van Dijk, I want to know what you think. 29, 30 years of age, missing another Euros, obviously going to have a big impact on the Holland team itself. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is Sadio Mane. My G, man like Sadio Mane. Where's Mini Mane? There's Mini Mane. Here's Mini Mane. He's becoming a regular on the show. But let's freaking get Mini Mo Salah a little bit of love, do you know what I mean? The man who's actually been turning up in what has been a dreadful season. We're going to talk about Mo Salah in a bit, actually. But for now, I want to talk about Mane. And the reason why I want to talk about Mane, he came out, bless his heart, he came out and basically talked about it's being the worst season of his career. His words, not mine. And to be honest, I don't know what life was like before the Premier League. I don't know how he was in other leagues. I'm sure he, you know, he set the world on fire to be able to make it to the Premier League. But obviously, I don't know if he actually has a worse season than this one. And for him to come out and admit, you know, publicly that it's his worst season. Yeah, it's not rocket science. Yes, it's something that we already kind of knew, at least in the Liverpool shirt. It's by far and away his worst season. In fact, no other one really comes close. Mane, even though he might have a few games where he usually drops out of form, he's someone who's usually very consistent, very hard working. And again, this season, I haven't saw the work rate drop. I haven't saw the want to win drop. It's just the confidence and the self-belief that I've saw drop, and that's due to one-on-one chances being missed and, you know, other elements getting pushed off the ball in times that he wouldn't usually get pushed off the ball. You know, he's usually a very physical player, someone who can, no matter if you're coming up against someone who's 6 foot or 6'5", and they got muscles like, you know, like a brick shithouse, in the words of Rob Holden to Adama Traore, then mate, at the end of the day, that's something that Mane's always been able to rely on. Not as much recently, so there's been many questions that we've needed to ask. Now, it was lovely to see him get a goal in the last game, but I just want to know, like, even though we already know in this first season, sorry, not this first season, his first really bad season at Liverpool, you know, is this it for Sadio Mane? Collectively, I want to know in the comments down below, do you think, because I've gave my answer, and my answer is, I don't think he's done. Might he be, you know, approaching the other side of the hill? Maybe. But that doesn't mean he's done. Doesn't mean he's shit. Doesn't mean he can't contribute a lot to this squad. Doesn't mean that even if we bring in another attacker who is absolutely out of this world in the summer, it does not mean that him and Mane can compete. It does not mean that Mane, being the experienced Premier League and Champions League winner that he is, whatever young winger comes into the team, who's to say Mane won't help him? I believe Liverpool do nothing but benefit by having Mane in this team, whether it's first 11 or blimmin' backup squad. And Mane shouldn't be in a backup 11, but at the end of the day, we're Liverpool Football Club. No one's position is guaranteed. And I think Mane, with a little bit of competition, it could bring a new elevated Mane out of him. And who's to say, like I said, he won't help the young players? Of course he will. He's a leader, he's boss, he's a great person, man. Do you know what I mean? Best player in the world for a reason. Even if it is one-time best player in the world, you were at least the best player in the world, son. So claim it, Mane, claim it. And people, let me know in the comments down below whether you think, first off, has this been Mane's worst season? I think it has. And second off, do you think he should stay at Liverpool Football Club? Do you think he still has a successful career at Liverpool Football Club? Let me know in the comments down below. Right, now here's fucking Jamie Carragher causing a load of uproar on Sky Sports for fuck's sake, Jamie, lads. Yeah, leaving Mo Salah out of the Premier League team of the season. In fact, no Liverpool players in either team. Now, I'm not going to lie. Mo Salah was a bad option to not go into the team of the season. Or was it the team of the year? I'm not sure what they really called it. That being said, Mo Salah, when you culminate, is the word culminate? I'm just going to stop saying words that I don't know how to say. Basically, they formed a team of 11 players, judging on who has been the best 11 players in each position throughout the season. Bear in mind, Mohamed Salah is the either second top goal scorer or the top goal scorer in what has been a very below par team in terms of scoring goals and attacking football. He's still in the top 3, and he's been, you know, in the top 3 in the past as well. But we're obviously just going off this season, and he's not in any of their teams. Gary Neville, the likes of Gary Neville, I mean, to be fair to Jamie Carragher, he actually put a good front 3. He put out, I think it was Heung-min Son, Harry Kane, and Phil Foden. Now, however you want to change that is absolutely fair enough. I would absolutely change quite a lot about that. I put Salah over Son. I would put Grealish over Foden. However, one thing I will give credit for is them 3 have still had a very, very good season, especially Heung-min Son. That being said, Gary Neville put Marcus Rashford out right wing. Now, I know, shout out to a man like Marcus for everything he does off the pitch. Absolute legends. Doing a job that shouldn't even be his. Still, though, when you need to include external, outside of football factors in your football argument, maybe don't bring that player to the table. Because Marcus Rashford does nothing better than Mo Salah, with all due respect. He's not a better finisher. He's not really better going for, like, let's be honest with ourselves, Mo Salah creates more chances. Mo Salah scored more goals in what has been a worse team this season. And I'm not just trying to say stats, but Mo Salah's performances and goals cannot be ignored. Without his goals, we're not even in the Europa League positions. With Marcus Rashford's goals, I'm sure Man United would still be in top 4. I'm not trying to say he hasn't had an impact in any way, shape or form. Marcus Rashford, very solid player. But above Salah, I massively question that. I massively question that a lot. I even see the midfield. I think Carragher... Was it Carragher or Gary Neville who put Kante in the midfield? Kante has had about 2 good games in Champions League quarter-finals this season. Other than that, don't get me wrong, he might have done okay in the Premier League. But overall, Gundogan's done much better than him. You know, Souček from West Ham has done much better than Kante on a consistent basis. And do you want me to throw out this left field shout? You know, we're talking about Mo Salah being the only Liverpool player. How about Fabinho? The only reason why, like, Fabinho might not get a shout is because he's played 2 positions, but he's played both of them very, very well. We've noticed what we miss when he's not in the midfield. We've noticed that when he's at centre-back, he can still do a job there as well. That's just what world-class players do, and no one's mentioning Fabinho. I'm not saying he deserves it, nailed on. I believe Ruben Diaz deserves it, John Stones, people like Rodri, people like Gundogan. But Fabinho to not even get a mention, in my opinion, is kind of like... It's not robbery, but it's not the greatest either. So let me know in the comments down below if there was any Liverpool players that should have been put in this team. Who is it? But I also know a lot of neutrals watch this channel, so actually let me know, who do you think should have been, what was your Premier League team of the season? I would have put the likes of Jack Grealish, the likes of Mason Mount, players who have really made a fucking difference to their team this season. So that is also why I would have put in Mo Salah. But like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Right, and now a little bit of news before we end the show. So the first piece of news that's coming out of Jurgen Klopp's press conference is injury updates. Yes, it's been a while since I've gave these injury updates. Well, actually, probably a couple of weeks. But in case you weren't, if you were on the channel at the start of this season, shout out to all the OGs, mate, you would have known this was an injury this was an injury update doctor's channel. It became a series, who's injured today? Like, mate, it was just a horrible time. However, it's been a while and now we've got another injury update, which is shit. Oh, and surprise, surprise, it's to suit 2 centre-backs. Kabak will not be available for the United game. Ben Davies will not be available for the United game. Therefore, we will most likely have to start man like Nathaniel Deeney, Van Phillips and Reece Williams. Again, do I like the idea of Reece Williams coming up against Marcus Rashford? No. And actually, the other day, you know, slapped myself on the wrist. I made a mistake in my video and I said Reece Williams has got pace. That's the biggest lie I've probably ever told in my life. Reece Williams does not have any sort of pace. One thing Reece Williams does have, though, is the ability, at least what I saw in the last game, he looked better at covering distance. So his big frame and his long legs, he used that to a better advantage in covering distance, and that was a good thing to see. So hopefully, between now and what we used to see, you know, between Bob Reece Williams and man like fresh cut Reece Williams, I think this Reece Williams could actually be a more experienced player just based on the training that he's had over the past few months. Young players can clock on quick, man, and Reece Williams, around all that first team experience, who's to say he wouldn't have improved? So I'm interested to see how that goes. And then the other piece of news before we wrap up this Redmond Roundup is Liverpool are front runners to sign Rodrigo De Paul from Udinese. Now, if you do not know Rodrigo De Paul, he is a central midfielder. He plays for Udinese in the Serie A. Very, very good, solid player. The highlights that I've seen, because admittedly so, I do not watch Udinese week in, week out, but one thing I will say is Rodrigo De Paul, when I watch him, he looks like he's got a bit of flair. I'll tell you now as well, he's got a good eye for the pass, and he's also got a good eye for a long shot out of goal. What do we need? We need someone who's got a little bit of creativity, a little bit of flair, someone who's going to find a pass before someone else, and also someone who can let off a shot. So I would not be too against Liverpool maybe looking in this direction. He's also 24 years of age. Maybe people would want younger. I actually kind of like the idea. He's been around for a good few years now, got a bit of first team experience. Now it could be the chance for Rodrigo De Paul to elevate that level. But let me know in the comments down below, is this a player that Liverpool should be looking at? Also, you're probably not looking on paying too much more than 35 to maybe 40 million. So it's an idea, it's another option for the likes of Genie possibly leaving the club, for the likes of James Milner not getting any younger. For, you know, all these type of factors that come into it, we need to start looking at someone else, another option in the midfield. Even though we've got solid midfielders as it is, we need to keep on strengthening on that. We can't just be accepting what we've got already. If we were to get Rodrigo De Paul, I think he actually fits the profile of the type of midfielder that we need as well. So, with the likes of us being linked with, like, now Niehaus or whatever his face is, Basuma, like, these all these midfielders Who's the one to replace Gini Wijnaldum? Let me know in the comments down below. But people, that has been the end of today's Redmond Roundup. Again, only if you enjoyed. And only if you enjoyed, then like the video and smash a subscribe if you haven't already to become a member of the Redmond's Army. Anyway, shout out to everyone who's supporting constantly. I'm hopefully going to be doing, well no, I will be doing a watch along to the Man United game tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, people, thank you for watching. Have a marvellous day and I will see you all later. Peace out.